y'all, I'm Heather and welcome to my channel, The Deputy Quilter. Today we're going to be talking about this quilt and three more very similar to it. This quilt pattern is called Neighborhood. It is a free pattern on Bear Creek Quilting Company's website. One of many. They have hundreds and hundreds of free patterns. Go check them out. And let's get busy. As you can see in this quilt, I've used lots of greens and whites, some of them with sparkle, and pinks with gray sashing. Now, I did a little research, and I talked to some of my quilty friends, and they're all like, use black, no, use white, use black, use white. I was like, no. On at least one of them, I'm going to use gray, because I'm making four. Because it is yet the season of giving. That's right. It's December. And I have to work on teacher gifts. This is just one. Technically, this is for my kid's bus driver. Shh. I hope that she likes it. I really do. And I have 3 more to do in short order, along with about 20 stockings. So I'm a little behind schedule, and I need to get going on this. But now, as you can see, here is our block. And how did we get this to begin? Let me show you. And we'll get there in just a few minutes. But first, let's sew all of our 1-inch strips to our square blocks. And I do mean all of them. If you notice as we're going through this, you will see there are a lot of different fabrics here. There are batiks, there are solids, there's grunge, there's cafe, there's art gallery fabrics, there's just all kinds of random fabrics in the colors I required. So, it's so fun. And what do we do when we finish sewing? We press. Always. Okay, I need to explain one more thing. There is a reason that there are no videos of cutting in this particular quilt, because I did the cutting several weeks ago, previous to filming this, and I was still neck deep in Father Christmas at the time, and honestly didn't have space on my phone to record any more videos. to begin with this pattern, we started by cutting squares and more squares and rectangles. Because this is a free pattern, I don't have an issue with giving measurements this time. This is a rarity on this channel. So our basic elements we are using are 1-inch strips cut to 3 inches, 6 inches, and 10 inches. We are using 6.5-inch squares, 3.5-inch squares, or 3.5-inch squares, and 3.5 by 6.5-inch rectangles. And this will give us, these specifically will give us units of these proportions. But then, how do we decide how we want them to look? Oh, that's easy. That is so unbelievably easy. And there's our base block. But our base units are the 3.5-inch with 1-inch sashing and the 6.5 with 1-inch sashing. And these become units that look like this. And then when we're ready, when we have all these units and all these units, we put everything together and it will look like this. Minus the gap over here, of course. And this will be 1/2-inch sashing in the middle. So there's a little bit more reconcilable for everybody's brain. And this will also be 1/2-inch finished to create a 10-inch block. Now, in the finished quilt that I showed you at the beginning of this video, I had to trim down because I'm not a perfect sewer, I'm not a perfect piecer. I had to trim down to a 9.5-inch block. They still came out beautifully, but I had everything together before I decided on that size. And so there we have it. And so doing them in black, I don't have a super long black piece to put in the middle, so please excuse me while I finagle this. There we go. There's what it would look like with the black sashing. Y'all have seen my example of gray sashing. I decided to do 2 quilts in white sashing, 1 quilt in black sashing, and the 1 quilt with the gray sashing. So, are we really truly ready to get going on this project? Because I'm halfway through. I'm not gonna lie, I'm halfway through at this point. Laying out the quilt blocks can take between 20 minutes and 45 minutes depending on how complicated you want your pattern, or if you want things to be laid out in a certain colorway like I am doing, for example, here. The longest mine took was about half an hour, and I made 10 blocks more than the pattern called for. Now you may be wondering why I am turning these blocks as I lay them out so that they're in different orientations. And you see that book that's laying over there? That is a book with dotted lines. It's a Letterum dotted journal. I love those. Um, and I'm turning them because I took the time to draw out the pattern in the book and color it so that I would have each block going where I wanted it. And doing it in this fashion helps me keep everything straight in my brain. Aha. Now with this layout, I'm not being quite so picky of where I put things. I'm still keeping in mind that it does need to look a certain way, but I'm not going overboard with what I want to go where. Last one. Can you guess how this one's going to turn out? Alright, now you notice me just flipping through those and counting them, right? This one I have to be very precise in where I'm putting what and how my rows go. Alright, now it's time to put together our secondary units. That means the 3.5 inch square goes to a 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangle, and so does the 6.5 inch square. So we're making our base units go into our secondary units. Alright, now notice I used a leader ender right there in between two of those pieces. Why do you think I did that? Well, here's a clue. I'm chain sewing all of my pieces together at one time, and I'm using the leader enders to delineate between the rows. Makes it much simpler to keep everything in order and going, sailing along there. And I will do the exact same thing for the other two quilts. And back to pressing. I'm halfway through. I am at a point where you will see all 3 of these quilts in this video series, in some form or another, in all the videos. Let's see if I can pull it off before the holiday break. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, maybe. Clock's ticking. Let's see if I can pull it off.